when I'm working on music, Beethoven, is the revolutionary spirit and daring spirit of the music. I think we forget that. I think we forget that, I think today at our ears, we think of Beethoven symphonies, for example, as very commonplace. They're like, oh yeah, it's a Beethoven symphony. But it's probably due to the fact that we've heard music, obviously we've heard all the music that's come after Beethoven. But when you start to look at Beethoven and put it in its context of when it was written, why it was written, for who it was written for, it's pushing boundaries, like not unlike, say, some of the music that La Jolla Symphony does on its programming. Like I said, I think without question, right out of the gate, it was Beethoven 6, of course. But as I got deeper into the programming and saw the Chavez, it's kind of interesting that I'm doing this concerto. I'm leading this concerto because the name Carlos Chavez is a name that I've known for a long time. Travels to Mexico City, music things that I've done. You can't go too far without seeing the Carlos Chavez Music Conservatory or the Carlos Chavez Concert Hall or the Carlos Chavez Chamber Orchestra. And it's like, this is an important composer, no question, in Mexico. But now, come to find out, it's cemented in my brain. Really, one of the more compelling and important composers of the first half, really mid-century of just the Western canon. Well, I think if there was one thing that I sort of already talked about is that my draw to Beethoven is that it needs to be thought of as new music and not, another Beethoven symphony. And I'm really trying hard that it comes across that way as something that we are encountering for the first time. It's fresh. It's pushing some of the boundaries of how a symphony starts. I mean, both 5 and 6, interestingly enough, go 4 or 5 bars in and then stop. Mm-hmm. That's probably not a coincidence. There's probably some thread in there. The fact that I can't think of any other composer of that time period, or even just before, that can do so much with so little. Beethoven just uses these little rhythmic cells and little thematic material, and he can just captivate you, literal earworms, with so little. And he does that in the Fifth. He does that in all the symphonies, but I'm thinking specifically of the Fifth, and he does that in the Sixth. And so I'm hoping that the takeaways are, I need to look more into Chavez after hearing this piano concerto, because this is a really important composer of the 20th century that has gone under the radar, I think. Number one. Number two, boy, I forgot how revolutionary and exciting Beethoven is. He is not run-of-the-mill Western canon commonplace. This guy was really pushing the envelope in the spirit of what La Jolla Symphony and Chorus likes to do in their program.